Wow, that Air Riders demo sure was fun. I think I can wait to play it again, though. I only gotta wait a few hours, right? 3 minutes later, and this isn't even a hyperbole. I want Air Riders, 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 I want Air Riders. Whoa, hello there. All right, you wise pups in the audience, I'm sure I know what you're all thinking. Klaire, of course, the longest category of a speedrun is gonna be a full 100%. What's so cool about that? Joke's on you. I didn't call you Klaire, I just called you a random YouTuber I don't recognize. Why must you hurt my soul? I've got nothing against the 100% run of Air Ride. You get to do a lot of really cool things across all 3 different modes, but I'm not here to deliver divine Pub-vine judgment on Kirby Air Rides, or Carses if you're like me with the humor of a 5-year-old and think abbreviations are funny, hundo category. We're here to talk about the longest speedrun that Kirby Air Ride officially has to offer, and that's what we're gonna do, dang it. It isn't hundo. Now, when I say officially, I am referring to the speedrun.com leaderboards of the game. And Kirby Air Ride has so many categories. It's such a flexible speed game in every way. Some, like the legendary hot dog percent, are super short, while others, such as hundo, of course, are really long. I actually quite like long speedruns. I even did a nearly 20-hour-long run for Dream Buffet, which I have a whole video detailing. Consider watching that, and maybe even subscribe for weekly Kirby videos. It's free and it helps a ton. Thank you. Needless to say, a speedrun being long doesn't mean it's bad. Hence why I named the video what I did. Let's talk about Air Ride's longest, coolest, and some other third things is speedrun, Air Ride, all tracks, all vehicles, whose world record is over 6 hours. I'd say yikes, but again, Dream Buffet, almost 20 hours, you get the picture. Believe it or not, this is fairly self-explanatory based on the title. In the Air Ride mode, you race through every single track with every single vehicle. I mean, they're not vehicles, they're stars, come on, but aside from that crime against pup-manity, you may be wondering what makes this run so cool. And what comes to mind first, both in how easy it is to understand and explain, is the variety. In a lot of the Air Ride speedruns, you'll often see limited star use. In Air Ride specifically, the wheelie scooter is very dominant, with very occasional, mostly forced for checklist stuff, cameos from other stars. But here, it is all tracks, all vehicles. You not only get to experience via running or spectating what every star in the game is like, but you get to see them on every track. This is absolutely the speedrun for numbers people. City trial, yeah, that's cute. Getting to compare city runs and how many checklist boxes you can clear in one go, how many stat boosters you can pick up, but you can use clear-cut numbers and stats to see which stars you're best with on which tracks in this run. And hey, vice versa too, bucko, because you can see what your weaker parts and work towards improving those as well. Yeah, you can compare your times to other people too, but I always push for speedrunning being a thing that you use to improve yourself. You see that 3-minute, I don't know, Fantasy Meadows you were having a real rough day or something with, and see how much you can improve that one over time. It's that core idea, just spread over a run whose world record is over 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours, no thanks, I'm out. I bet that's what you're thinking, huh? Still not saying your name. You're still just a YouTuber I don't recognize. Why you gotta be so mean about it? The best kind of long speedrun is one where you're doing lots of different things to help prevent the feelings of repetition, exhaustion, stuff like that. And the star variety is already very high, but even how these stars perform on various race courses is very different. Take the simplest, most basic course in the game, not Fantasy Meadows, wow, but Nebula Belt. This is largely just a straight line, but with some turns, you know, nothing too exciting, right? Well, there's always that glitch that involves spinning into a wall at a specific angle that gives you a crazy speed boost and allows the wheelie scooter to tear whatever semblance of balance Kirby Air Ride has into tiny, indistinguishably small-sized pieces. But since you get to run with multiple stars, you see a lot of different strategies, different ways that each star builds up speed, which ones benefit from the spinny-to-winny wall glitch, and which ones don't. And again, this is just for the most basic of courses. Courses like Celestial Valley see great success with things like the Jet Star, while others like Magma Flows see similar W's with the Rocket Star. Seeing more than just one star is always a good thing, and unlike most cases where variety gets to shine through, you don't lose the wheelie scooter at all. It still counts towards that total of all vehicles, so you still get to use it in all of its glory. Of course, the opposite applies too. You're not gonna go outside and hear people talk about how amazing the Formula Star, or the Wing Star, or even the Wheelie Bike are. Well, if you go outside and you hear people talk about Kirby Air Ride, that's actually crazy, but my point is, these stars aren't very good, but still get to see legit use in a speedrun. And to me, there's just something very special about that. And while most certainly you can't be expected to like every single star in the game, one of the most magical parts of this run is being forced to use stars you've never used before. The Rocket Star is forever my favorite. It's my baby. I love it to pieces for how much fun it is, while still being super fast and super good. But I was reminded why I loved some other stars too. I always knew the Formula Star was one of my favorites, but aside from specific silliness and city trial, more specifically the stadium events, I hadn't really remembered why. Then, playing this speedrun and seeing the insane boosts you get from killing enemies, using walls to maintain your top speed, and the absolutely thrilling challenge of consistently going faster and seeing how long you can go without losing it all, ooh, it's just, it's so exhilarating. I also relearned my love for the Slick Star, a hard-to-control star that goes crazy with speed boosts and, a big rarity here, gains speed upon charging while you turn. I even discovered Freeze was really good with this thing. Freeze! I thought that ability was 100% useless for, I don't know, ever. That makes me happy. And, I mean, yeah, a lot of this wouldn't matter if the actual racetracks weren't fun, but they are. I always insist that Air Ride is the most underrated mode in this game, because it is, and mastering the tracks, something that's already really fun, only gets more exciting and intense when you introduce every single star into the equation. One of the things that's actually quite newcomer-friendly about this run is that, if you know the general idea on how to get through a course quickly, the DNA of that course, so to speak, basically transfers to every star. The stars themselves are what contribute to every run feeling so unique and different and all, but in terms of what you need to keep an eye out for outside of that, yeah, many strategies overlap and work with several stars. It's great! Oh, and I should mention, when I say all stars, or all vehicles, or whatever, I'm getting the joke mixed up at this point, I, as well as the speedrun, do also include Day-to-Day and Meta-Knight. They're not great and kind of wind up falling flat compared to most of the stars, but I don't know, it's always fun getting the chance to play as these iconic characters. Honestly, I don't think Day-to-Day is that bad, a little clunky, but his enemy boosts are okay, his boost panel boosts are actually pretty good. He handles kind of poorly, but his spin is funny, so I don't know, it all balances out in the end. As for Meta Knight, let's move on with the video. But what's this? On top of everything I've said, there's a secret final reason why this run is the bee's knees? Well, not really, but I wanted to talk about the potential that this mode has in Air Riders. Whoa, Kirby Air Riders? Haha, alright, now I'm interested. Yes! Obviously, this game isn't gonna come out for another week and a half, and even though it looks so good that if I'm not playing it 3 years ago, I'm gonna lose my mind, it would make sense that this category would return for that game, right? And while I can't speak for how the leaderboards are going to be in advance, I'd love to see this be a category again. Some tweaks may need to be made depending on how many tracks there are, how many of the different characters come into play, stuff like that. but the core idea of have insane variety and fully experience what the most underrated mode, not to mention probably the most underrated racer of all time, has to offer still stands. Well, I don't know, maybe people are actually gonna love the Air Ride mode this time around, but either way, I'm all for this category's return. Regardless, at the end of the day, putting everything we've learned about this category, what else can be said? Yeah, the speedrun is cool and I think you should try it out sometime. Master or not, just jumping right in and learning how all of the different stars work is so much fun. But is it as fun as liking this video and subscribing to the channel? Probably. But if you've already done that and want to go the extra mile, please consider becoming a YouTube member or a patron on Patreon. Both help me out an absolute ton. They help me continue do what I do at a consistent pace alongside everything else I need to juggle in this crazy, not Kirby Air Riders game, or Kirby Air Ride as well, called life. Totally optional. I'd appreciate any kind of support that you can give. Special thanks to my head-patting, Fluffle fan, Puptrons and Mempups, Freakish Uproar, Lydia Scribe, Heavy Points, Lizzie, and Galaxy Fan for I love you all! And until I see you all again, I have been Klaire. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you around. Well, bye-bye!